Hello everybody, it's Ryan. We are back with another video. In today's video, we are doing NFL Pick'em for week 1. It is finally time for week 1 of the NFL season. It's been a long time, obviously, since we last saw football, so it's very exciting. Tomorrow will be the first game of the year between the Cowboys and the Buccaneers, and it should be a great season, especially with the extra game this year. Now 17 games instead of 18, so it's one more week to predict, one more fantasy week, all that stuff. So it should be great. So here in week 1, we obviously have a bunch of games. No one's on bye for the first few weeks, so every team is going to play, and we should have some great matchups here. So let's get right into it with tomorrow's game, the Cowboys versus the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are obviously coming off of a Super Bowl victory versus the Kansas City Chiefs, Tom Brady's 7th ring. The Cowboys, maybe a disappointing season last year, although Dak Prescott was injured. I expect them to do better this year, but all in all, I think the Buccaneers are going to take this game at home. They're just the better team right now. That Cowboys defense is still a little shaky in the secondary. It might be closer than people think. Maybe the Cowboys hang around by 14 points or so, but yeah, I don't think they are going to win this one. Next, we have the Seahawks taking on the Colts. So the Seahawks had a pretty decent year last year, and so did the Colts. Both made the playoffs. Both, I believe, lost in the first round. So both are looking to have more playoff success this season. The Colts are a little banged up, though. Carson Wentz, Quentin Nelson, will they play? And if they do, how effective will they be? That is to be determined. But I'm going to go with the Seahawks in this one just because they have a little bit of less question marks, although their defense is just not good. The Colts do have a good defense. But I'm going to take Russ to take the Seahawks over the edge here and take a win in week 1. Next, we have the Jags and the Texans. So the Jags, they have Trevor Lawrence, they got the #1 pick, so they're on the up and up, while the Texans are probably the worst team in the NFL. No Deshaun Watson, just poor choices made by this front office, and it is going to cost them. Tyrod Taylor, we'll see if he can finally at least have a full season as a starter. I mean, he was kind of promised that with the Chargers, and that did not go well. So I'm going to definitely go with the Jags here. But if there is a game that the Texans will win this year, because there's a chance this team goes 0-17, it really is. I think their best chance to win is in week 1, where Trevor Lawrence, he's new. He might not be, fully there in week 1. He might have some bumps in the road. So this is probably the Texans' best chance to win this season, as sad as that is to say, or maybe their next other game against the Jags, because they do play again. But obviously, Lawrence will be a lot more acclimated by then. And we have another game that's not so great. We have the Eagles and the Falcons. Both teams are also not looking very good. The Falcons, they got Kyle Pitts. The Eagles got Devontae Smith, so some young players there that are interesting. Jalen Hurts, we'll see how he can do. They seem to not believe in him there at all. As I said, both teams should probably not be that good this year, but I'm going to go with the Falcons. They just seem like the more reliable team at this point in time, so I'm going to go with them. Now we have a pretty good game here. The Chargers taking on football team. The Chargers, not the best season last year, but I think they are going to bounce back a little bit this year. I at least think they're a playoff team. Football team, they showed some promise last season, and I think that will continue into this season. Very good game here. Obviously, the Chargers have a high-powered offense. Herbert, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, but that football team defense is the reason why I'm going to take them in week 1. Chase Young, that defense is just deadly, man. This is a great game, but I do think the football team will get the win with their defense. Next, we have the Steelers taking on the Bills. Steelers, they were a playoff team last year. I don't know if they'll make it this year. They're going to be like 9-8, around there. The Bills, they stepped up big time last year. Josh Allen looked unbelievable. I'm expecting similar results this season, so give me the Bills here in week 1. The only thing that the Steelers have here is their defense. It's probably better than the Bills, although the Bills' defense isn't too bad itself. So I think the Bills should be able to win this one. I think they even beat the Steelers last year, and the Steelers were a lot better. Then we have the 49ers taking on the Lions. Sorry about if you're a Lions fan, I didn't mean to laugh, but yeah, you might not be the worst team in the NFL, but you're probably the worst team in the NFC at least. The 49ers, they should be back this year, at least in the playoffs. This team, all the injuries they had last year, definitely give me the 49ers to win this one on the road. Now, this game is interesting right here. We have the Vikings taking on the Bengals. Last year, not a great year at all for the Vikings. Definitely underperformed their expectation. I'm at least predicting them to do that again and not make the playoffs, but I mean, you never know. Maybe they turn it around. Maybe if Kirk Cousins doesn't get the virus, this team could do good. For the Bengals, Joe Burrow's back. He's healthy. Hopefully that means good things for them. I'm going to go with a little upset here. I'm going to take the Bengals at home. I think they can start out the season strong. They have a really good offense. Their defense is solid. Give me the Bengals here to upset the Vikings. Now, this is also an interesting game here. We have the Jets taking on the Panthers. Sam Darnold automatically gets to take on his old team. Zach Wilson also makes his NFL debut in this game, so should be very interesting to see what goes on here. But the Panthers should be a little better than they were last year. Jets, same deal. But all in all, I'm going to take Sam Darnold to beat his old team. I'm going to take the Panthers in this one. I just think they are the better team at this point. McCaffrey is also back for the Panthers. Next, we have another pretty good matchup between the Cardinals and the Titans. The Cardinals, I think they should definitely be a better team this season. They had a pretty solid offseason, getting J.J. Watt and some other pieces to help their team. Another year of Kyler Murray and D-Hop should also be of help. The Titans, obviously Derrick Henry is still there. He is still a force to be reckoned with. It's going to be a great game. I wouldn't be shocked if the Cardinals win. I do have them making the playoffs, but I also have the Titans winning their division, making playoffs, so I'm going to take the Titans here, but this should definitely be a pretty good game. I would not be surprised if the Cardinals do get the win. Now, we have the Browns taking on the Chiefs. This is a pretty good game. You have the Browns who made the playoffs finally last year. They won a game as well, and they almost beat the Chiefs. So this team is definitely legit. Then you have the Chiefs who made the Super Bowl, lost because of their O-line, was just terrible. But I am going to take the Chiefs here at home. But hey, if the Browns win, this is definitely a legit team that is going to be a force all season long if they are able to beat the Chiefs. It might be closer than people think as well. I would not be shocked. Then we have my favorite team, the Patriots, taking on the Miami Dolphins. This should be a pretty good game. The Dolphins, I expect to be around what they were last year. The Pats, I definitely expect to bounce back. I have us in the playoffs. I'm not a biased fan, though. I say 11-6 for the Patriots this season and 10-7 for the Dolphins. I also think they might split this season series. I'm going to have the Patriots winning this one. Mac Jones in his NFL debut as well. I don't know how Tua's going to do this year. I'm going to take the Patriots at home. I'll probably take the Dolphins when it is in Miami because the Pats never win there. But Damian Harris, Jacoby Myers, the tight ends, Jonnu and Hunter Henry. It should be fun to see what this offense can do, as well as the defense, which is already pretty solid on this team. Next, we have the Broncos taking on the Giants. This is a pretty interesting game for me. We have Teddy Bridgewater starting for the Broncos. I think that's the right move for them. Drew Lock, yikes. Daniel Jones is also yikes. The Giants, this is probably his last season, unless he turns it around. I don't know if he turns it around in this game. I'm at least going to have the Giants get a win. I do think they are slightly a better team than the Broncos, especially with the home field advantage in this game. Next, we have the Packers taking on the Saints. Packers coming off of that NFC Championship loss last year. The Saints coming off the playoffs, lost in round one. Famous Jameis Winston now taking over. But yeah, I don't see them beating the Packers here in week one. The Packers are going to be the winners of that division. They're right now my only playoff team in that division as well. The Saints, I do think will be solid. They might be on the edge of the playoffs. but I just don't think they are good enough to beat this strong Packers team with Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams. The list goes on. The Saints don't have their best receiver either. Michael Thomas is going to be out for at least like 6 weeks, so their offense might. That Callaway guy, though, definitely watch out for him, but the Saints' offense might be a little slow. They definitely have to rely a lot on Alvin Kamara. And then we have the Bears taking on the Rams. This is Sunday Night Football. The Bears, hey, Justin Fields, maybe he plays in this game because, yeah, this is not going to be good. The Rams are going to destroy the Bears, at least defensively. Matt Stafford also making his first start with the Rams. I'm expecting good things from Stafford. A lot of people underrated him with the Lions. I'm not saying he's going to win MVP or anything, but I at least think he's an MVP candidate now with the Rams. Should be interesting to see what Darrell Henderson and Sony Michel can do in that backfield. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, very good receivers. And we all know Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey are on the same defense, so it should be a #1 defense in the league. Yeah, Andy Dalton's going to die in this game, and I would not be surprised if Fields is in there. Or maybe he's not in there just because they don't want him to get destroyed. Like, Andy Dalton might take multiple big, huge blows in this game, and it's not going to be pretty for him. Then we have Monday Night Football, the final game of the week. We have the Ravens taking on the Raiders. The Ravens last year coming off of a playoff berth and a win over the Titans last year. That is right. The Raiders, if you think about average NFL team, the Raiders are pretty much what comes to mind for me. This seems like an 8-9 season, or 7-10 maybe, written all over it for the Raiders. Derek Carr is nice. Josh Jacobs is nice. That O-line is not nice, though. That O-line is just not good. They did bring in Kenyon Drake as well. But yeah, who's going to block for Darren Waller? Or Darren Waller's going to have to block. You know, it's just not going to be good. So I'm going to definitely take the Ravens in this one. Lamar Jackson. Obviously, they don't have J.K. Dobbins, but they have Mark Andrews. They have pretty good receivers. Sammy Watkins, Hollywood Brown. Pretty good defense as well with Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. So that is it, guys, of my Week 1 NFL predictions. Comment down below if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, what you guys are predicting for Week 1 as well. And I will be looking at those comments and definitely responding to those. So, thank you all for watching. We will see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a good rest of your day.